And it totally made sense. We were getting running my that's like a statement. And I don't even know if I mentioned 3,000. Yeah, that's what I mean. But by the end of the call, he's like, "Oh, let me see if I'll tell my sellers you need 4,000." We're like, okay.
So
All right, we can start now. Olivia left.
no,
Morning, everybody. Morning. Feels great. We've kind of hit our stride this summer. Thank you for coming in for such an opportunity as this. And I like to say, as you all know, this is game day. We look at it as game day because it's the opportunity to pour as much value into y'all as possible in one day, and it's kind of an accumulation of what we need for every morning. And that is to serve y'all the best we could serve. And it was just hitting this morning, we were talking about the ALC meeting, about what are our wins, what are our W's, and it's important to start out with the very basics of things that we often take for granted. And I think we often take this opportunity together, to be together, especially at such a time as this, to have so much great support, to have wonderful people that come in and talk into us with even greater support. So we're excited to get it started. Vision for, thank you for that. That was good. The vision for Keller Williams, you know, we like to share visions, missions, to be a company, real estate company of choice for agents and their customers. Pretty basic, however, simple, to the point. I hope you have your vision that you can say that is simple and to the point when asked, and you will all be asked in this meeting. Just kidding. Play of the week. As you know, we love to say have a play of the week every week, and it's to make sure you all know how great the people are around you, because again, that's something we take for granted too. Who you're in business with really matters, and we got some very special people here. And last week, because of all the, with Juneteenth and then July 4th, it was just a time to just say, hey, you know what, home ownership being the American dream, we have the freedom to run our own businesses in this country, and that's something I think we take for granted every day too. You know, we wake up and think of all the negative things we got to deal with clients or laws or anything like that. But however, we have the opportunities today, and a lot of other places do not have such opportunities. So I say we give it a round of applause. All right, yeah. So future plays of the week. Anyone, if you hear other agents that are doing certain things that you think is special. It can be work related, it can be, personal, it can be anything. We just want to highlight that, and of course, make sure your spirit knows how great you are. So that's the impetus behind that. Oh, can't do that yet. We're gonna get the walk-up song here. Come on up, Toddy.
do the walk-up song.
Yeah, we know what it is.
But maybe you change it.
No.
Oh, it's an honor.
Okay, I just have a couple things really quick today. So everything that we're gonna talk about on the calendar today is time for you to sign up. Okay, so pull out your phones. This is 7th inning stretch. This is, Misha's gonna come and tell you really fast. Jason, don't yell at us.
Oh, look at that hustle.
This wasn't planned.
Oh, I didn't have a walk-up song.
I'm running from first.
Okay, what is it?
It's basically like a business evaluation clinic. It's middle of the year, we're a little late, but whatever. So you can reassess where you are from what your goals were at the beginning of the year and what you need to do to hit those goals or reevaluate those goals for the end of the year.
And who's teaching it?
Leadership, woo!
The entire leadership team, right?
Yes, yes. Special guest starring Olivia.
Woohoo. Yeah.
But yes, the entire leadership team will be teaching it and covering it. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be interactive, and it's free.
Is there food?
Yes, and it's free. We're gonna have baseball themed foods. But just 4 short hours, it's really gonna be fun, and I hope everyone enjoys it, because everyone will be here, right?
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Misha. Okay, so, phones, sign up. Okay, Sarah. Okay,
Wow.
next is, we have the KWPR barbecue. So if you remember, we all do our summer barbecue. It is going to be on July 24th, which is the 2 team meetings from now. So if you wanna take out your phone and sign up for that, it is potluck style, so the market center will be providing the meat, and the utensils and the buns and those things like that. And we'll have some really fancy grillers named Jason and Jamie, I think.
Oh, that's Colin's job. Yeah,
No,
I don't
Colin
know
retired.
So yeah, there's gonna be slots where you can sign up for things. I try my best to give examples of like how to fill out the form, so just do your best, okay? And then the last thing that I'm so excited about is our KWPR Luau. This is the first annual, this will be every year going forward. And it's a luau. We're gonna have like pulled pork sandwiches, and everyone will get a lei as you come in. So some people say like you're gonna get laid when you come in, but it's with a lei.
I see you've already had your fun.
Well, yeah. We'll let Jamie elaborate on that later. But if you wanna take out your phones and sign up for this, it's gonna be super fun. We're gonna do agent voted awards. They're all gonna be funny. Misha had a really good one and I'm gonna tell you what it is. The most authentic headshot is going to be one of the awards. So it'll be like, it's funny. Nobody laughed.
Cause it's a joke, realtors, you know.
So, they're gonna be really fun. All of this will be posted on Facebook, and we're excited for all these really cool events
Can we
coming up.
bring our kids and spouses?
Please, yeah, and they can eat there too. And we are going to do, thanks to Olivia's idea, we're either gonna do where she will hold pets for KW Cares money.
Wow.
Or we will do pies in the face to Jamie, that was also Olivia's idea. Or a dog tank.
Can we do
So
both?
that's to be announced. If you have a suggestion, please tell me.
Hey, hang on. Let-
with the dogs.
let's.
Hell
Hell no. She said you can dunk Olivia with the dogs. No. That will send you right over to Remax. Or Coldwell, you pick. So what we will want to do with that, many of you were at the last one when we did this, and I told you all if you raised, what was it, $5,000 or $5,000 in 3 days, I would hold your dogs. And you did, you raised more than $5,000 in 3 days, so I do think, I mean, it's all going straight to KW Cares, right? So I think we should set a goal of what we're going to raise by then for KW Cares, and I'll hold the dogs, and I'm thinking like $10,000. So,
$500.
and I'm sure.
500.
Yeah, well, there you go, do I have 500? But if you remember, Jana Riley donated one of her whole commission checks.
Wow.
To make
Yeah.
you hold a pet.
To make me hold pets, yeah,
Wow.
and if you've seen the pictures, it's probably worth it. So, we'll do it again, but let's set a goal of 10 and get there prior to the event.
Yes.
One tip, just make sure your dogs had a lot to drink that day.
Oh my God.
And whatever scraps from the.
Well, it won't really matter because I'll do what I did last time and I'll have Nicole wrap me in a garbage bag from the waist down and then wrap myself in a blanket and then
That's
throw
really
the blanket in the garbage.
Good time.
So if you do pee, it doesn't matter. Won't affect me.
Anyway,
Go.
sign up. Oh, okay, this is where the pregnancy
While
rate
you're
is
coming,
bad.
just real quick, this is also a day we're gonna have at the team meeting, have a panelist with dynamic dialogues. So we'll have a panel articulating some of the great stuff that Patty is sharing today.
Okay, and I forgot the most exciting part, sorry, I got so excited about this part. The carnival, the Klein event, the first one that we are doing, that is the carnival, just rolled out like an hour ago via email, so you all would have got an email. I'm super excited, all of the details and everything are in the email, you can scan this to sign up. It'll be posted on Facebook after the team meeting as well. But it's $99 per solo agent to sign up until July 19th. And per solo agent, that's supposed to say, per team is $175 until July 19th, and then the price does go up. So there's gonna be snow cones, they're shaved ice kind of. You're gonna have a mini horse to pet. A bounce house, and then you can bring your old electronics. There's a whole marketing package that goes around this. Jason did a smart plan. So it's literally plug and play for your clients for $99. And I think you'd be a little silly not to do it, but that's just my opinion. So, yeah, sign up.
Thank you, Todd.
Woo!
Well, what we have next, we have a friend of Olivia's, Tyler. Is he available on there? He is. We'll have his walk-up song while we wait. He helps make videos, and so that's why. Tyler, welcome to the Market Center here.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
We can.
That's good. Okay. All right. I'm gonna, hopefully by the end of this, you guys are gonna have some ideas for content that you can do on your own or stuff that we can possibly shoot together. So let's dive right into it. Let me go ahead and, okay. Real quick about me. I've been creating real estate content since 2016. I like to say I've been making content before it was called content. It's just good old fashioned videos, from home tours to introduction videos, you name it. I've done a lot of videos specifically with real estate agents over the last 8 years now. Yeah. With podcasts, my wife and I produce a variety of different real estate podcasts, some of which we can track the recruiting back to over $150 million in teams recruited. That's always been cool. Also, I have been to a lot of real estate conferences over the years, and specifically within the Keller Williams ecosystem. So I'm pretty familiar with the KW lingo, if you will. And then when I first got into this, I couldn't really actually decide if I wanted to do video or photo. And I started off by doing listing photos. And then I had one agent ask me to do a video of him presenting somewhere one time. And one thing led to another. I got connected with our region and started doing a lot of events. One thing led to another over those years. And then about the coolest fact about me that you guys can appreciate is being able to ride around on Gary Keller's ranch with him on his ATV when I was filming in Austin one time. So that's the one cool fact that I can offer about myself. Now, what I want to go through into the content strategy with what I'm seeing, and I like to justify my doom scrolling with work, and it is consuming a lot of real estate content and the variety of different types of real estate content that exist out there. And so one of those things, I've got 3 different examples that I feel like you guys have all probably seen if you've been anywhere on Instagram in the last year. But you are starting to see more of a trend here. And so I just wanted to quickly, we don't even need to watch the whole thing. These videos that you guys might see, this is something that you could do with your listing videographer. If you guys have any aerial footage of a neighborhood or a certain part of town, this is something that the Orlando Reel has posted. And I've seen this kind of across the country where you see a lot of people putting just good old fashioned market updates with footage behind it. And then another type of content that you guys might see is a basic staging shot. Maybe somebody is prepping a listing, but then they put text over it. And when they apply context over them, maybe setting up a coffee table or a nightstand or a kitchen, you name it, they'll apply context over that footage. And what they'll end up doing is driving people to the comments to engage with them, whether it's they've got something to give away or they've got ideas that they can do, you name it. So that's another one. So it's very heavy on the short form content. We're in a quick consumable content era right now. And that's why you'll see more and more of these shots where people are doing a rather mundane action, but then tying it all the way back into real estate by applying the context via text over it. And then on the last type of kind of pretty trendy version of content that I'll see, this is an agent that's here in Indiana. He just would go to local breweries or different businesses and just kind of film his experience at those places. This is a good way to solidify yourself as a market leader, as far as, hey, I live here, I know what's going on, I know my area. And also, this content's really good for people that are relocating. So if you think about what people are searching for when they decide that they are wanting to move somewhere or travel and visit somewhere, a lot of times making that type of travel content is a really good way to get in front of an audience, collaborate with businesses, and be able to, you can either shoot it from your phone or you just have somebody with you filming your experience at those places. So it's a good way to, with all three of these now, it's an easy way to capture content where, notice I didn't show anything where somebody was sitting down with a light and they were talking to the camera and they had to talk about what they know. Instead, they're showing it or they are spelling it out for people. On the last one with the brewery, he just added a voiceover within the Instagram app. And so you can, by doing that and utilizing a lot of the tools and features that are all done within the ecosystem of social media, it not only kind of helps the algorithm. So think about this way: when you go to let's take my favorite restaurant ever, Applebee's, and somebody decides to take Chick-fil-A into it. Well, Applebee's in this situation is Instagram, and Chick-fil-A is going to be TikTok. Not taking in not repurposing content or bringing in outside food into another restaurant. And so what I like to compare that to is, by using the features within the app, it actually just helps with the algorithm because you're on the app longer. And so by utilizing the text features, the voiceover features, the caption features, the templates, everything that's all within the Instagram app, I'm not just taking something I made on TikTok or somewhere else and just repurposing it right onto the platform. And so automatically, by utilizing a lot of the features within the app, especially when just creating it, it really helps with their overall performance, because then the app doesn't feel like, hey, this person just brought in something else from this other platform that has a watermark on it. Like, I'm not going to show that to other people. So with that said, one thing that each of these have in common are B-roll. So B-roll is something back in the day, it would be you'd have your A-roll of somebody talking about something, and the editor would place B-roll over the A-roll to kind of enhance what it is that person is talking about. That also helps a lot when it comes to keeping people engaged. So basically what I'm saying is, this is videos where you're not talking to the camera. So not only you can film this yourself or having somebody else film it for you, it's a really good way to build up this big content bank of little short vignettes of your life, of your day-to-day, like the happenings, and then utilizing all of that content for a social media strategy. And now, one of the benefits of doing that is, I refer to this as like a B-roll bank, but you could just basically have a specific photo album set up within your phone, where then you can just have quick access to all of these short little videos that you could then apply to templates that are even available within Instagram, or there's other mobile editing apps, which we'll get into in another day. But the template feature alone has been a big part of why you'll see a lot more short form content kind of just circulating a lot more, because the apps are wanting people to not just consume more on there, but they're really incentivizing people to create more on there. And by doing that, they're making it easier and easier to do that. And one of those ways is by having templates that you could just literally drag and drop these little clips into and end up making a video where it basically edit it for you. Edit it. Words. So what you can do with this is you can just select from your photo album that you have and then drag and drop those into a template. And then if you want to talk or you want to apply more context to it, you can always utilize the voiceover feature within the Instagram app to then be able to apply as much context as you want when it comes to whatever it is that you're showing. And so once again, the benefit of this is you aren't having to spend a lot of time setting up and talking to the camera if you're not comfortable with that. And if you are talking to the camera, this is a good way to keep people more engaged by simply having a stock pile of footage and reference clips. And in your guys' cases, a lot of times it could be different houses that you're taking a look at. It could be you in different listings of yours, prepping listings. And actually with the PDF that I believe you guys should all have access to, I've included a list of a bunch of different ideas that you could just start with on your own and be able to kind of capture you just doing you. That's kind of what I like about B-roll specifically. I am a big believer in the idea of trying to incorporate your hobbies into your business, because that is a really good way to not only just create something that you might end up actually enjoying to make, because a lot of times people will tell me they don't know what to make or they don't know how to make it. And I'm like, well, what do you do for fun? And if you don't do anything besides work for fun, at least you could film yourself working, and then we can make it fun with fun music or something. But with that said, I'm a big advocate for filming you, engaging in your hobbies, because then you can always tie in. I've got a client in Charleston that plays pickleball, and having pickleball references around town is a really good way to attract people that also like pickleball. But then it's you play the game of, oh, by the way, I'm a real estate agent that's providing very specific content to a very specific audience that very specifically matches your vibe. And I think that is one of the coolest things about social media is you are essentially just able to attract those people by sharing your interest, but then applying a real estate perspective. Another client that I've got attends art galleries and art shows quite a bit. And so we will create content with the B-roll and integrate not only the stuff that we film, but integrate a lot of the stuff that she'll go and capture with her phone into different videos. And then in the caption, talk about, oh, and if the last 5 houses that have sold in this area are selling for this price. So being able to tie in market data into an interest has been a really cool way to integrate B-roll into something versus you setting up and talking about the camera I'm looking at my camera right now and I talk about cameras a lot, but you talking about what you do. So instead of telling it, this is a really good way to show it. Now, let's get into kind of what it is that I can help you with. But also I'd like to encourage all of you to try this on your own, because this is you will learn what you don't know just by filming yourself. Like, oh, I should probably sit up straight more often. There's a lot of hidden benefits to B-roll that I discovered over the time. And I'll film myself editing or doing a time lapse of like me sitting at the computer for a long time. And you realize I'm like, okay, it all makes sense now why my neck hurts. So you'll kind of catch up on some of those things too. So that part is an unintended benefit. So in the PDF, when you guys have access to this, you can click on any of these examples and they will direct you to some of the past examples of some of the content that I've shot for a variety of different people doing a variety of different things. You'll see stuff that has gone viral where we will showcase 5 locations that I like to go visit when you go to Charleston, or I'm a part of a historical committee that helps in preservation of different areas around town. Easy way to take like a walking clip and apply context to it later. And then a really popular one that you'll see a lot of real estate agents do is something around like, here's what's going on in the town this weekend. And so we'll just take kind of a basic shot of maybe a Cheers or something. You can check it out. This is on Christine's. Here's what's happening this weekend in Charleston. Check out the caption, and then you get to see kind of just a whole plethora of what's happening. You tag the businesses that are all a part of it, and then you're able to get in front of them as well. So with all that said, I've been able to create a lot of content for people that it seems to have lasted longer. I always say 6 to 8 weeks, but what I have noticed is people are able to do a lot more content because they can repurpose a basic walking clip or staging clip months after we filmed it. And so that's one of my favorite things about the idea of B-roll content is the repurposability of said content. And by being able to do that, you're going to get a lot more shelf life out of your content rather than you just making a video about one thing. And I think this is a really good strategy for people that have been utilizing social media on a regular basis, and maybe you are tired of posting your just listed and just sold pieces of content, or you are wanting a way to get into social media, but you're not quite sure what exactly you want to talk about. So if you don't know what to talk about, take any of the list from the that I just shared with you. I call evergreen B-roll because you can just kind of do that action over and over and over again and get an applied context in different ways. So that is a quick rundown of social media B-roll content that I am seeing in a lot of different markets right now that I think all of you would benefit from being able to integrate into a social media strategy. And also included in these packages that you guys will be able to check out here in the PDF as well is like I showed you earlier, I couldn't quite decide if I really wanted to get into photos or video back in the day. So I also offer the like a little mini lifestyle photo branding session as well. So you get a batch of B-roll, a minimum of 15 clips. Sometimes, to be honest, I just can't decide which clip's better than the other. So you get both. And then the same thing goes with the photos. So a lot of times I'll have clients integrate these into their content strategy in, 2 times a week, once a week. And they'll mix that in with the listing videos that they have. They'll mix it in with the listing photos, just sold, just listed, a variety of different stuff. And so this is a good way, by having me film it with all my fancy gear, is a really easy way to then stand out when it comes to the fast-paced nature of social media that we live in. So, all right. What questions can I answer about anything social media, content creation, you name it, throw it at me.
It's Lydia. When are you coming to town, and how many people do you need to say yes and sign up in order for you to fly into town with all the materials, all the lights, the cameras, editing and such, and then we'll get a sign up sheet going. Because I think you can do 8 people in 3 days. Is that right?
Yep. Yeah, 8 people, 3 days, depending on which package. So with the half bank of package, it's really good for that solo agent that is wanting to just kind of get going on it. If you have maybe a couple of people or a team that you want to split it up with, which is always a really good idea, because then you can easily make like your team intro video from it. That one is a 3-hour block. So those will take a little bit longer. I also have some solo agents that would rather spend more time driving to different locations where we get a variety of different content in different areas. So that's all stuff that we would cover in our pre-production meeting. If you choose to sign up, I can help you decide which one would be best for you. I would need there to be 8 people to do it for me to be able to get the plane ticket, get out there. And then that way, not one person is having to cover any travel expenses. But by having 8 people, I'm able to pretty intentionally create a variety of content for a good handful of you.
Awesome. Okay, we'll get interest and we'll get folks signed up and, another question?
One more question.
On the business video shoot, do you need permission to do those from the businesses, or do you just do them?
So what I've done in the past with the businesses, I like to go in with, here we go. This is like the size of the camera. I'll go in with a pretty low profile setup, very touristy looking. If we are going to go in and do anything, if we need anything special, like where if you are wanting to go and get a, I really want to get the chef making their famous dish, definitely going to need to check with them ahead of time. Otherwise, if we're just popping in a business real quick, I haven't had any issues where we just pop in, get a couple of shots, and then call it a day. So it's because of the nature of these types of videos aren't to be like, all right, lights, camera, action, this is a whole shoot, we got audio, we're going to need anything from them. It really is as if we were just kind of going in as friends, like we did one at an ice cream shop, had a camera, and just filmed a quick wide shot of the interior, ordered something, and ended up getting photos and video of ice cream at a local shop that was a hot spot down in Charleston recently. So haven't had any issues with that. It's only if we have any specific types of content that we would like to gather is where we would want to get a heads up so that they can either accommodate us or we can make sure that we schedule it accordingly. So short answer, if you want to have something really specific shown where we're going to probably need some kind of special access to something, yes. But if we are just essentially a consumer, we are just being tourist, essentially.
Awesome, thank you. And I just got a text from Tyler and it says that if you sign up, he'll also give you hair tips. That's outstanding. Look at that.
You got a bottle of hairspray. That's
Big time, brother. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Tyler. We're excited to see you. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, next, thank you so much. We've got Patty in here, and like we said in the video, she has so many titles, more titles than like Evander Holyfield. She's done so much in this community. But the Committee for Minnesota Realtors currently, and then she's a 2023 Regional Vice President for NAR. So I think she's got something that we probably want to hear. So welcome, Patty Zuzak. Song for the Vice President.
Okay, thank you for having me here. We've had a couple changes in our industry, right? Okay, do y'all know about them? Okay, raise your hand if you know about them. Okay, if you did raise your hand, you're under a rock. You should remain there, don't come back. Okay? So we have some changes. People are freaked out about it, right? Don't be freaked out. Do your flipping job. That's all they're asking for, right? For us to be transparent.
Sorry.
That's a better one.
Doing my job.
So make sure that you're doing your job. I have a timeline that I sent over. Do you have the timeline?
Right there.
Oh, perfect. So this is kind of the timeline of what happened. We've heard about the class action lawsuits. We know they're out there, right? The seller one. The settlement went into place on March 15th. I will tell you, my phone rang off the hook because who put the information out there first? Inman did. And I'll tell you why the media got it out there first. They had a contract with the plaintiffs that said you cannot publicize this until I tell our people. I'm not sure if you know, media doesn't always listen.
No.
And neither does a plaintiff, right? They had their own agenda. My phone rang off the hook in the first hour. I had 60 phone calls. Pissed off at NAR. Really upset. Why are they doing this? Why didn't anybody tell us about it? They had 3 choices. Settle, file bankruptcy, that'd be fun. And number 3 would be to keep fighting. Who knows what that fight would have looked like? The only good thing about continuing to fight is I probably would be retired by the time they have a resolution. But we're not gonna go there. So we're continuing to go down the path of what the timeline is. We just had a really important date in June, right? We need to know what the action is. Who's joining in on this settlement? You know that the MLSs are part of this settlement, correct?
Yes.
Who owns our MLS?
Selling words.
You do. You guys own the MLS. The crappy thing about it is most of our members don't know about that. They don't know 3 associations in Minnesota own our MLS, okay? The biggest one in our state. That would be St. Paul Association of Realtors, Minneapolis Association of Realtors, and Southeast Metro Realtors Association. They are the 3 owners. Therefore, your members, who are the stakeholders of these associations, actually own the MLS. Did you guys have a say in any of this? Mm-mm. This is stage 1 of what's going to change in the MLS. I will say our MLS is handling it pretty darn well. They're removing compensation. It's no longer on the MLS. It's been really interesting to watch the creative ways that people are going to say they're going to put their compensation out there for people to find. Oh, I'm going to put it as the last 2 digits of my price. Really? That's interesting. Oh, I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to put words and then people will look at the alphabet number and figure it out that way. I'm like, okay, well, how about we just pick up the phone and ask one another? Why? What is the compensation? Is there compensation? What does that look like? Okay? We're gonna have to communicate by picking up the phone and actually having those conversations. So it's really gonna be important to do that. So we have another deadline, August 17th. Summer is flying by, isn't it? August 17th is really close. That is the date that everybody has to be abiding by what the changes are by August 17th. The question I hear over and over again, why do we have to abide by this date when we haven't had the final hearing? Kind of interesting, right? We have to make our changes here. But the hearing's not done until here. Well, the reason we have to do it is we're in good faith trying to act. And it was part of the settlement. So we could work together. We wanted to show Just Cause that we're trying to do this right, as an industry. Lots of information out there. There's lots of gossip, right? And what's really happening behind the scenes. Media's having a heyday with this, because what sells? Negative crap sells, right? Sorry for my French. But negative sells. So let's spin it. Let's tell everybody what we do. So the 2 things that are coming out of this is, 1, You can't cross the threshold of a property without a biorepresentation contract.
Good.
Amen, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you want to put it another step further as a business model for you personally. Maybe you don't want to do a search unless they sign a biorepresentation contract. So that's number one. Number two, no compensation on the MLS. Anything that feeds off the MLS cannot state compensation. You cannot put on showing time. When you approve the showing, compensation is going to be X. Can't do that. The forms are out for brokers. We're reviewing them. I'm sure your brokers are doing the same thing, taking a gander at them, trying to figure out how we're all going to teach them to you. I will tell you the one thing I want to share with every realtor in our state. Have grace with one another. It's